In this video, I'm going to take you through Freya's questline in its entirety. What's up everybody, my name is Whack and thank you for joining me for this video. Now while I'm doing this questline, this is the list of perks that I'm going after. Carnage, because it adds bleeding to enemies that can bleed without having to have a weapon that causes bleed damage. Additionally, when she attacks an enemy that is bleeding, she is going to heal for a small amount. I'm going after Savage Swings because it allows Freya's attacks to no longer be blocked. And then Knocked Loose because it's going to bypass an additional 20% of armor and stagger enemies longer. This set of perks allows Freya to really go face to face with humanoid enemies and be victorious. Freya's questline is much longer than Lu Fei's, and you're involved a lot more with Freya's questline. Now you don't need to bring any resources with you to meet Freya, you just go up there and then you're going to go out on adventures with her. I feel like the way that they set up this questline is really good because you really bond with Freya as a character. In order to start her questline, you're going to go to her hovel located in G9.
The dreamer dreamed on the cold grey hills. The seeker rode in the sun. They are parted by fire and death and time, but their lives cling and their souls twine, till the last of the day is done. For the seeker dreams when the cold stars shine, and the dreamer seeks for his soul in mine. And dream and seeking must meet and twine, ere ever the day is done. Then use your eyes. The jackals came. They set fire to the hut and took my man, Angvar. No, Angvar could see the shape of it right away. He surrendered to protect me. That man, always my shield when I need him. I don't know. I just need a moment. Why do you care? My man was a blacksmith. He might be able to craft you something of value. Sound good? And start by searching the bodies. If we're going to find my husband, we need to know where these fools came from.
There are 3 bodies around the area that you're going to need to interact with. For me, it has always been the 3rd body that has given me the note. It does not matter what order you go in, it's always the last one that you interact with that gives you the note.
Did you find anything out? Stormwatch. That's a Vanir place. You'll find it west of here. I am not ready. You'll need to give me some time. Yes, take your barbed tongue and go.
The next location that we're going to want to visit is Stormwatch. It is basically directly west of Freya's hovel, so you're going to want to run over there. When you reach Stormwatch, you will have some enemies to clear out, and then you want to go in the hut at the back of Stormwatch. There's going to be 3 items on this table, 2 notes and 1 bag of gold. Now in this video, the bag of gold didn't actually give me any gold, but all of the other times that I've been up here, it has given me gold when I interacted with that bag. And once you've interacted with both notes, there will be another round of enemies that spawn in to attack you at this location, so be prepared for that. Once you've dispatched those enemies, or if you decide to just run away, that's fine as well. You just need to head back to Freya's hovel.
I wasn't sure you'd be back. Any tidings of Angvar? I don't recognize the seal of the Raven's Foot, but someone is working behind the scenes. They mentioned the clan. I wonder... No, I just suspect something. I must travel to New Azagarth and speak with the tribal elders. No, the village is abhor outsiders. I must go alone. And listen. I have been lying to you. I'm no warrior. Not anymore. Before we were brought to the exiled lands, I fought and killed as well as any in my tribe. More so, some called me Valkyrie, after the warrior women of our myths. When we were captured, I took a wound to the arm. It festered, and I took a long time to recover. When I did, I had lost my prowess in battle. My wound has never truly healed, and my ability to fight is all but gone. Angvar was taken, not because he was weak, but because I can't fight. Perhaps there is a witch named Hulda. She laid an enchantment on my blade when Angvar forged it for me. She might be able to help. Once I have spoken with the elders and hopefully found Hulda, I should know more about where they have taken Angvar. I will seek you out. You have an encampment in the exiled lands, I assume? Then look for me there in a few days. And thank you for your help.
Now we have to wait 8 hours or use a command in order to get Freya to give us the next quest. So at that point you can log out or stay playing, it doesn't matter. It works the same on solo and servers, so you just need to wait a total of 8 real-time hours in order to get the next quest. If you have admin, of course I have all the commands listed in the description of this video, and I'm actually showing them in the video as well. Unlike Lu Fei, Freya doesn't have any voice lines that she's going to use when she reaches your base, and I've had her spawn all over the place. One time she spawns right in front of me, another time she spawns in a different tavern of mine, and then one time she actually spawns behind my carpenter's bench. So you are going to have to run around your base in order to find her.
There you are. Not a bad place you have here. And the mead isn't horse piss like they sell in New Azagarth. They didn't know anything. Which is strange, considering Stormwatch is usually patrolled from New Azagarth. Don't be daft. I won't give up on Angvar. He never gave up on me. What I am saying is there is something strange going on in New Azagarth. Because they know something and lied about it. Every time I asked about that witch, Hulda, they clamped up. It's almost like they were scared. Which doesn't make any sense. Our tribe was never fearful. So I need to figure this out. Now, I'm going to get my skills back. Then, I'm going to get my strength back. And then, I'm going to get my man back. And you're going to help. Good. Then hear me well. I had a lot of time to think on the way to New Azagarth, and I realized that I've been letting this wound hold me back. My father would never have allowed this moping. He taught me how to fight, to hunt, and he taught me how to heal. He would tell me to fight this. To take up my sword and relearn my path, one swing at a time. So let's go. I have training to do. I need you to watch my back while I find my way. Oh, and laugh at me and I'll put 7 inches of steel through your guts. Yeah? Good. Meet me at my hovel when you're ready to hunt. My blade is heavy. It's been too long. Let's start with something simple. Small game will give me practice and dinner. There should be rabbits living near my hovel.
Once you're back at Freya's hovel for the hunt, we're going to go through a few different hunts. We're going to start with small game, which is going to be the rabbits that are near her hovel. It's then going to move into medium game, and you're going to be looking for the boars that are in the area. Those are the medium game. In addition, you are going to have to find some specific resources that are added in the game, and I will show you the locations of all of those things in this video. So just follow along my path, as I feel like I've figured out the best path to take in order to do these missions in the shortest amount of time. And if you pay close attention to Freya, she actually goes through a set of emotes and motions during this section. She'll stop and she'll point out what enemies are there to attack, and then she'll crouch and sneak up on the enemy. This is a rather interesting setup, and I'm not sure why they coded it this way, but I just noticed it and wanted to point it out. Once she's done killing 2 rabbits, just talk to Freya again.
That's enough of the easy stuff. Let's try something a bit larger. Let's hunt some animals. Animals that fight back. I think I'm ready for that. Still very weak. The wound seems to drag at me, pull back on my swings. and I see things just at the edge of my vision. Disturbing things. I don't really want to talk about it. I'm probably just tired. I used to see the same things when we first arrived here. No, I'm ready. Let's fight some animals. Oh, and I've been thinking about my wound. My father taught me how to make a poultice. He swore it was the best wound salve he'd ever used. And since I couldn't find the witch, I need to do something. We should keep an eye out for what I need. Fire moss, singed root, and a tally's kiss. I don't know if they grow here at all, but if they do, we'll find them in caves and shady places. Let's get going. If I see any of the ingredients I need, I'll let you know.
So now it's time to hunt some boars and find the resources that Freya wants. These resources are not interactable by the player character. It's only something that Freya is actually going to interact with. Additionally, the mountain goats are not an enemy that will complete her quest for killing medium animals. For both the rabbits and the boars, you should allow Freya to deal all the damage to both of those enemies. If you end up killing the rabbits or the boars, you will not get completion for that quest. Here's a couple of boars right here, very close to Freya's hovel, and these boars will count towards her quest completion. Additionally, you could go after wolves, but again, I'm trying to give you the fastest way to go in order to complete all of these tasks. It takes a little while and it's a little daunting just standing there watching her slowly attack these enemies, but you definitely want her to get the final blow on these enemies. Leaving the boars, let's continue running the direction that we were. We're going to find our first two resources right up here. I actually messed up this jump a little bit. You could just walk up this, but I messed up and had to climb. But the first resource is going to be right here. It's kind of an orange leaf that lays on the ground. Now, there are other locations where she can find these resources. These just happen to be the ones that I feel like are easiest to get with the loop that I'm running to get the boars. And for each one of these resources, she is going to go through a short animation where she thinks for a second and then runs up and interacts with the ground in order to grab that resource. We want to continue heading the same direction we were going, and you're going to see this large rock next to the mountain goat. There's another resource right there, and we'll just take out this mountain goat while Freya goes and does her thing to get this next resource. There we go, we finally have it, and so we need one more boar and the final resource in order to finish this quest. So we're just going to run back down the hill into this open pasture and continue until we find a boar. You want to stay towards the right hand side of this pasture and go in between these two rocks in the valley. Continuing on, we will have a boar that's on the right hand side here, and then we will get to the resource. So there's the final boar, and we'll let Freya see that it's there and interact with it. There we go, she has finished the last task for hunting, and then we just need to take her over to this rock outcropping right here, and she will interact with the final resource. That's going to be this plant right here. Once she's finished harvesting that plant, we just want to walk up and have a conversation with her.
I haven't done this for a long time. I'm worn out, body and soul. My wound is throbbing, and I can't keep the bleak thoughts away. A shadow lies across my mind, and I cannot shake it. In the past, action was enough. Now I make every move as if wading through a dark mire. No. I just need rest. I'll get my spirit back, and we'll find and rescue Angvar. We must. I'll seek you out when I'm ready.
Now you just have to wait the 8 hours for her to show up at your base. This time she showed up in my other tavern, and you just have to interact with her when you see her.
By the gods, I don't feel up for this today. I can barely lift my arm. I couldn't. My dreams were filled with lurking evil, like a black serpent writhing through a garden of flowers. Horror and madness. Oh, yes, I saw Angvar. Bound to a stone, taunted by hawk-faced warriors. They cut, and he writhed and stopped. How? Through will alone. I can't pretend to be the warrior I used to be. Every swing of the sword hurts. Perhaps I'm too broken to be saved. You're right. I owe it to Angvar, my shield. My father taught me the way of the spear. If it hurts to swing, then by the gods, I'll stab. My father taught me the spear and how to hunt large game. Perhaps we can start there. Thank you. If you hadn't found me, I'd probably still be back at the hut, trapped in the gloom of my own thoughts.
Heading back up to Freya's hovel, just interact with her and tell her, let's go hunting. I will show you where to go to get all of these different enemies knocked off the list. So we're just going to run over and jump over the edge. We are going to head down and fight the wolf first. This is the enemy that is closest to Freya's hovel, and then I'll take you to the other enemies after we defeat it. So just continue running down this hill. You can see that white wolf right there. That is the one that you need to have Freya kill. Now, I highly recommend at this point in time that you bring a shield or you bring some sorcery and go invisible so that you can allow her to do all of the damage to the following enemies if you want to get the same perk that I'm going for. The perk that I'm going after here is Carnage, and in order to get that, she needs to do the most damage against the following enemies. If you want to get the other perk, Resolute, all you have to do is make sure you're doing more damage than she is. Anything else that you come across during this section is fair game. Go ahead and kill it, get it out of your way. We're going to head over to the elk next. Now, the elk that you want is the one with the more unique antlers that is actually a one skull boss, and there happens to be one close by here. Just follow along my path and you'll find that elk. When you reach this area, there's actually two in the area. The one that's attacking me now is not the one that's going to give you the completion. The one that's going to give you the completion is a little bit further up the hill here. You can see that one there with the larger set of antlers that happens to be a one skull boss. This is the one that's going to give you completion, so depending on which perk you're going for, either let Freya do all the damage, or you get in there and do all the damage first. The next enemy that we're going after is a one skull boar, and it is going to be just up the hill here. Again, just follow along my path so that you can find where this is. Here's the boar right here that we need to
with
take
the
Freya
giant
to in
tusks.
order to
Just stay out of their
complete
reach.
this task as part of the quest. And the last thing on our list is to fight a bear. It doesn't matter what bear you fight. There's a couple that are in the area. Additionally, we're near Tellus Island, which is swarming with bears, but I have gone to that island and only had those bears be baby bears. The baby bears are not going to complete this quest. It has to be a full-grown adult bear. And I'm actually going to run up towards where I got the second resource when we were hunting medium-sized animals, because there happens to be a bear spawn in that location, and I don't think that location can have a baby bear spawn there, so I feel like it's a bit more reliable going to that spot. So here's the bear location just over this ridge. This is the last guy we have to fight in order to complete this quest. We actually have a little tag along there with the mountain goat, and it's kind of fun because the bear turns around and just gives it a single swipe to get it off its butt. So just let Freya again do all the damage unless you're going for the other perk and you need to do all the damage.
Yesterday at this time, I could barely lift my arm. Today, I'm filled with vitality. I don't know. There's something here, just out of reach. I feel like I am on the edge of something. Some revelation. No, please, pay attention. I have an idea. We need to build a campfire. I want to try something.
Now, in these voice lines, Freya instructs you to actually make a campfire. That doesn't work. You want to just head straight back to Freya's hovel. I tried making a campfire. I tried making a bonfire, placing those down, turning them on. That would not trigger the next part of this quest. So at this point, just run back to Freya's hovel in order to trigger the next section of this quest. As you approach Freya's fire at her hovel, she will run up and then say a prayer.
I'm going to try a prayer to Ymir. You can watch, but don't interrupt. Gods of ice and snow, heed my strength. By my arm were these creatures slain. By my will were these creatures taken. By bone and right of northern blood, I beseech thee, answer this prayer. Whither goes my strength? Do you see it? A figure in the smoke. A woman. I know her. It is the witch Hulda. I see her holding my sword.
Once she's finished with her prayer, we're just going to interact with her again to finish this questline.
This must be when Angvar brought her the blade for blessing. But this is no blessing. She is cursing the blade. Her lips writhe with fey words. She covets him. She used to follow him around when they were both children. Ha, of course. Angvar is such a fool. She saw me as a rival for his love. Which explains why my day with the spear hasn't left me drained. So then, how to break this curse? We don't have the mead, people, or lotus for a proper orgy. No, there is more to it than just the sword. Every time I use the sword, my wound ached. They are linked. I need to break the curse to heal the wound. I think what I need the most is time to recover my strength. Time to think, and time to plan. When I needed to think in the past, I would throw myself into hard labor. The body takes over and leaves the mind room to think. It sounds ideal. Some time on the wheel of pain. It will give me time to rebuild my strength and think of how to break this curse. I will try this wheel of pain and clear my head. I'll come and find you when I feel prepared.
Then we're going to wait for her again to show up and interact with her to start the next quest.
It's good to see you, friend. Broken, no. I chose my circumstances. I wasn't forced to them. That's the difference between freedom and slavery. Choice. Enjoy. There is no love in hard labor, but there is clarity. When bones stiffen and muscles ache, the mind quiets, and things become clear. I do. If my husband was taken by that witch, then he is in no danger. So we turn to the matter of this curse, my wound and my blade. Yes, when I was wounded, it was Hulda who tended my wound. She was whispering furiously as she applied her poultice. I should have seen it sooner. It was in her hovel the entire time. Ah, a simple matter for her to put a curse upon it. She had access to my blood, hair, and nails. Tuh, that foul witch! You've seen to the heart of things. We need to drive the curse from the blade. I had not thought to destroy it, simply to reforge it. I'll thrust the sword into the fire of the volcano, let the metal melt and blend. If that doesn't lift the curse, nothing will. In the volcano's caldera, there is a forge with lava flows hot enough to cleanse the sorcery from my blade. It won't be easy to reach, though. It's hotter than hell, and the natives won't take kindly to our presence, so come prepared. Meet me there, at the volcanic forge.
Now we're off to the volcano and we are headed into the Well of Skelos. Something that has changed in this area is that everything is aggroed on site, so you are going to be attacked on site. I also recommend either bringing ice or being in armor that's going to protect you from the elements. And whatever you do, be on your toes. Do not engage in a fatality in this dungeon. As you can see, we have an issue with fatalities in this dungeon as well. And until you do another emote, you are just going to stand there waiting for that emote to complete. Yes, you're invulnerable during that time, but it is still a bug that's happening, so keep that in mind, and in order to break out of that, you need to emote. This bug is a pain in the butt because you don't always get to choose when you're doing a fatality. I was quite far away when I went to swing at the other enemy, and it decided that I wanted to do a fatality on the enemy that was behind it, and that is just kind of a bummer. I really wish they would change the fatality system to an interaction system so that you could specify when you want to use a fatality. And I think you could probably just run past the first set of enemies that I fought there. However, there are two enemies at the bottom of this ramp or path that you are going to have to take out before interacting with Freya. So go ahead and take these guys out, and then Freya is standing there just at the top of the stairs, and you're going to have an interaction with her.
I'm ready to be rid of this curse. Shall we begin? Stay by my side, friend.
Now this is the quest where you're going to have another choice between perks. I'm going after Savage Swings, so I need to make sure that I am engaged with this fight so that she does not go down in the fight. We need to defeat her demons together in order to unlock this perk. Now I feel like Savage Swings is the easier one of the perks to get. However, if you want to go after Unrelenting, what you need to do is allow Freya to get stun locked by these enemies. And what I found is you can actually use a truncheon to hit one of them so that it doesn't attack in unison with the other one. That way you can keep Freya stun locked And I think if you do that, it's best to wait for them to get into the small forge area. If you're going after savage swings, just continue to fight the demons off as they spawn in and kill them. At some point, you will not get any more demons spawning in, and you will have completed that section. If you're going after the other perk, you simply need to let them hit Freya until they no longer attack her, and that's going to be the end of that quest.
Couldn't beat me. But they tried. Such darkness. All the gloomy nightmares of my life made manifest. We beat them all, friend. When the darkness came, you were at my back. I am ever grateful. Yes, I feel it lifted from me. A poison drawn from my ailing soul. I feel weak as a newborn, but my strength will return with rest. No, not yet. Breaking the curse has cleared my mind of the shadows.
So again, we're just going to wait for Freya to spawn in, and again, you do need to look around the area. There's no audible notification that she's actually at your base. I also recommend if you already have Freyas around, they are not dressed in the same outfit.
A dark morning, friend. A dark day. Aye, the time has come. But the people of New Asagarth, they've been lying to me. Protecting the witch. There will be a reckoning. My father died to save them. My husband and I kept them safe when we reached the exiled lands. You, a stranger, have been more true to me than them. They have chosen a side. It's not their wrath that I fear. It's mine. I ache for vengeance, for answers. We will claim them in New Asagarth. Onwards then, friend. Let's walk this bloody path together.
We're headed up to New Asgarth this time, and she is standing right outside the front entrance.
I wanted to give you my thanks. You had no stake in this battle. When you found me, I was lost, unable to move, paralyzed by weakness. But you've stuck by me while I've gathered my strength, my sense of purpose. Whatever happens next, I owe you. When we get inside, look for Elder Hagarth. He was the one I spoke to last time. He knows. Let's go and find our answers.
So now we have to find a specific person inside New Asgarth. He's always spawning in the exact same hut, so we'll fight our way to that hut, and I'll show you that interaction. At this point in time, it does not matter how you engage with the folks at New Asgarth, whether you're killing them or whether she is. This is not a point in the questline that has any perks attached to it. So just follow along my path to find the guy that you need to interact with in New Asgarth and kill anything that comes across your way.
Ymir's beard, have mercy! I don't know anything. By Ymir, I told Freya the truth the last time she was here. I can't. Hulda will return and she'll... No. Please, don't!
Enough. Who are you? Why are you looking for me? Ah, you must be Freya's pet. It didn't take her long to find new companionship. Angvar is better off here with me. He doesn't want to come home. And what do I have to gain from that? I have Angvar, body and soul. I am safe here. Why would I tell you where I am? You don't know anything. Where I am, who I am, what I have gone through to get here. You're nothing. You wish to tempt fate. Very well. Come find me overlooking
There we go,
Asgard
that's enough.
At
Let's
Nordhoff.
So, he's with the witch. She has Angvar. That Hulda has taken my husband, I believe. As for the rest, I don't know what to believe. My arm aches. I need some time alone. To think about what she said. To prepare.
This is the final time that Freya is going to show up at your base, and this is the time where she actually shows up behind my carpenter's bench. You can see her right there. Interact with her to move on to the next quest.
So this is it then. One last battle to fight. I've been thinking about what Hulda said. Could it be true? Could Angvar be happy with her? You're right. Her sorcery still lingers in my wound, clouds my mind. The darkness still lives in me. Today, I hope to purge it. That vile succubus cowers in the hills above New Asgard in a small outpost called Nordhoff. My blade is ready. Oh, by Ymir, it'll be good to bury it in her flesh. Let's go.
So we're going to head up to Nordhoff, which is just north of New Asgard, and we will find Freya standing outside of that camp.
Here we are. I've always felt sick before battle. But after what she's done to me, the only stomach coming unraveled will be hers. Are you ready? Witches are shady folk. Be ready for anything.
This is the final mission and where you're going to choose your final perk. If you go for Knocked Loose, make sure you bring a concussive weapon up here so that you can use that on Freya when it's time to fight her. If you're going up here for Bloodbath, you're just going to use whatever lethal weapon you have with you. Now you may have noticed that Freya's health bar is now yellow. What that means is that as you're attacking enemies, if you happen to hit her in PvE, you will stagger her. I don't know if in PvP you'll also do damage, but it will interrupt her attacks if you hit her. Once you've dispatched all the enemies in the camp, you're going to want to approach the Ymir shrine that's at the back section of this camp.
Angvar, it's me! Don't you recognize me?
I told you, Freya. Angvar belongs to me now. Body and soul.
For the love of Ymir, Angvar! It's your wife, Freya!
Choose, Freya.
Now we have to fight Freya's husband. This is the one fight where I feel like Freya can just get tossed around very quickly. He does a lot of damage to her. She will heal through it. She's using a health pot right there. However, I feel like it's important to get involved in this fight. And you can see she ended it brutally with a fatality. Now it's time to fight Hulda. Hulda has random looks when she spawns in. This time she spawns in looking a lot like Phoenix, but that's not always the case. She is inside this protective sphere.
I can feel your darkness, your curse. Why did you do this to me, Hulda?
Why? Because you were the one who could fight. You were the one who he loved. You were the Valkyrie. And I was always just the witch.
So it wasn't about Angvar at all. You just wanted to ruin what I have. To curse me for being who I am.
No. I wanted to control you.
I can feel the darkness. My wound. Her curse. Stop it! Don't let her take my might.
Now it's time to fight Freya. Don't worry, you can't actually kill her. You can only reduce her hit points so much, or her concussive bar to the end. So, however you decided to come up here to fight her, just fight her until the game tells you the fight is over and you move on to the next section of the conversation.
Enough. Enough! The clarity of pain.
Freya's gonna run up and destroy the shield. You can either allow her to fight Hilda, or you can go in and do it. It's totally up to you.
She's dead. At last. I can feel the taint of her sliding off my soul. She's dead. But it cost me Angvar. Bury my husband. Mourn him. And then, I'd like to join you. Fight by your side. Be your blade. I need the clarity of battle. The place where blades meet and the sparks fly. What I had with Angvar was what I thought I wanted. Peace. Comfort. Now I know that peace is darkness. The slow death. I'm alive in the heart of battle, and I sense you'll lead me to plenty of it. Aye, let's leave this bitter place behind.
So let's go over Freya's stats. Like Lu Fei, she has all of the perks from the start. She is at level 5. She has 2,224 total hit points. Strength is 32, agility is 6, vitality is 15, and grit is 10. She gains 57.26 hit points per point in vitality. She has a melee damage modifier of 1.716 and a ranged damage modifier of 1.584. And honestly, I would say that these numbers are lackluster, especially given the fact that you can get much more powerful thralls just on the exiled lands in about 30 seconds. And this interaction, when you actually go through all of the quests, is going to take you a little bit over an hour, and you have to wait 8 hours in between each one of the quests. So I feel like she could definitely be buffed from where she's at. And looking at Lu Fei, who actually has a shorter quest line than Freya does, he's got amazing damage numbers, the highest in game right now. I feel like they could have shown a little bit of love to Freya. In addition to getting Freya as a companion, you also unlock Hjorthramul. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. It says it's the heirloom sword when you unlock it. However, the spelling is on the screen right now if you're looking for it in your crafting bench. It is a short sword, and it does less damage than a regular star metal sword, but it does have a cool look. For Freya, honestly, I would put her in some gear that buffs her vitality and feed her food that's going to give her a vitality bonus when leveling. I'd like to thank all my YouTube members for your continued support. Y'all are absolute legends. Don't forget to whack the like button if you enjoyed the video and subscribe for more content. And if you don't want to be out of whack, there's another video on the screen right now that you can click to support more of my content.